All right, I have been sucked in to a 1K in a day. I'm going to give you a little shakedown run on what I am going to do and what I think you should do in preparation for this. You know what to do. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so that when we upload videos here, you guys get notified. You guys know what's going on here in the garage, all right? For those of you guys that are not familiar with it, what that is 1,000 miles in 24 hours. I have done one in the past. I did one back in June or July of 2020, the COVID year, when everything was on lockdown. There was no better way and no better way to social distance than just be out on the road, and that's when I did it. I did not get to do one in 21, and I did say I was going to do and start collecting them patches start 23. Well, a friend of mine hit me up and said, hey, I'm doing this one around the beginning of December if you'd like to join me. And I said, why not start collecting those patches in 22? And so I jumped in on this one. The route's already been pretty much taken care of. It's 1,000 miles. A little less work for me to have to plan it and sort it out. It's just making sure my bike is operating. I have the right gear, equipment, things of that sort. So what I'm going to do through this thing is I'm going to take you guys through the bike, the preparation for it, some of the maintenance, the things you'll need to check, maybe some tools. We'll dive into that. I'm also going to show you what I'm going to take as far as gear, you know, my type of riding gear for the places I'm going to be going and the weather I'm going to be taking on and stuff. So how I'm going to pack snacks, food, drinks, things of that sort. So I'm going to take you through this whole Ride 1K in a day experience with me. First thing we're going to do is dive into this bike and make sure that it's maintenance free or that it's preventative maintenance is taken care of. And we're going to try and foresee any problems that we can avoid out there on the road before they happen. So let's jump into this. Let me show you what we got going on. For this Ride 1K in a day, I am going to be doing it on my 2008 Harley-Davidson Road Glide. I've done it on this bike before. The way that I have it set up is very comfortable for me and my style. I have T-bars on it. They put my riding pant, I put my hands and my arms in a very comfortable riding position. One of the things is a seat. Listen, there are a lot of seat choices out there. I understand. Some of them look way cooler than others. This Lepera seat is a absolutely amazing seat. If you're going to go do 1,000 miles, you need something that has to support some lumbar, fits your ass, and it's just right. This Lepera, it fits me. It's a great seat. So make sure that you have something comfortable when you go and do 1,000 miles. What I'm going to do on this bike, while I have it up on the lift, there are a couple things that I want to take care of. I'm not normally a crash bar guy, but for this ride, it's 1,000 miles. One of the most important things for me is that you want to have multiple riding positions. And so I do have a crash bar. It's a Lindy bar. It's up there in the rafters. I'll pull it down. I pull it down and I put it on for rides like this, where I'm going to be going long distances. I want to have different riding positions. I want my feet out. I want my feet on my mid-controls. Maybe I want them back on the passenger pegs. I want multiple riding positions to be able to stretch and maneuver and move. So I'm going to throw my crash bar back on here for the ride itself, just to give me more riding positions. Tires. Make sure that you have enough tread on your tires. Now, my front tire probably doesn't need to be replaced. There's not down to the tread marks, okay? It's not down to the wear marks or anything like that. It's going to be fine for this trip, but make sure that your tires are in good shape, okay? The front one's going to do me fine. This rear one, I just got probably, I don't know, 500-600 miles ago. It is brand new, and so make sure that your tires are good condition, they're not old, withered, cracked, and that they have plenty of tread on them. Remember, you're going to go ride 1,000 miles on these things. Next thing, brakes. Although it sounds like, well, you're riding 1,000 miles, make sure that you have enough brake pad to make the trek. Your rotors and stuff are good. Make sure that when you're going through all this stuff, do a hand check at the very least. Check all your stuff. Make sure nothing is absolutely loose. I am going to go through here myself and probably just put a little pressure on these to make sure everything is tight, because it's been a little bit since I have, but this is just a shakedown. Make sure that things are tight, okay, on your bike when you are running this thing down. Make sure that, things like this, linkages are connected, and, oil filter. Put your hand on it, and turn it with your hand, and make sure stuff is tight, okay? Touch stuff. Do not be afraid to touch stuff and move stuff and see, does that look out of place? Is it wrong? Could it be fixed? Does it need to be addressed before you leave? This is a shakedown run. Make sure that if you're running a bagger, that your bags and your bolts are tight and everything is in place, okay? I'm just giving you a rundown. I'm obviously going to go and do all this stuff myself, but make sure that things are connected and tight, okay? Your exhaust, grab it. Look at it. I feel it, actually. So this is a good example. It's a little loose. I want to know, why is it loose? There is a rubber bushing that goes inside of here. That's the play that I see. That's all right. Okay, there's play that's inside of here, and that's the play that I see, but that's the give. That's the way it's supposed to be. Look underneath here. Make sure that your shocks are tightened and your axle nuts and your lock washers are in place. Make sure that everything looks right. Nothing's being pinched and bolts and things aren't loose and disconnected. Touch everything as much as you can with your hand, but move your bags, shake things. This lid is obviously loose, but I'm going to go through and make sure that my bags are on tight, my seat bolts are on tight, my filler panels are on tight. I'm going to go run this thing 1,000 miles. Make sure that your lights are working, your primary fluids. I'm going to go and check fluids. Your linkages, are nice and tight and things aren't falling apart. They're not loose. Just go through the bike and make sure things are in place. Your turn signals are working. Your clutch feels good. Your brake fluid is capped off. There's a lot of different things that you just kind of want to go and make sure that you put hands on and check your bolts, move them, touch them, move things, touch things, and make sure that they are not loose. Like I said, turn that oil filter. So those are just some ideas. I will I'll start turning and putting wrenches to this stuff. But put your hands on stuff. Don't be afraid to get them dirty. When you are preparing for a Ride 1K in a day, you want to make sure that things are tight. Harleys, I'm a little bit more experienced with those bikes than any other bikes, but Harleys are a vibrating lawnmower. Their job is to come apart on you while they're riding. They just vibrate. That's what they do. It's our responsibility as riders to make sure that they're not going to be more of a death trap than they already are, and make sure that things are tight, especially when we're about to go and embark on 1,000 miles. So make sure that you go and check all your stuff, all right? I hope you take something away from this, gives you a little bit of, oh yeah, good idea. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so you can keep up with everything that's going on here in the garage and this Ride 1K in a day.